If it ain't love, it ain't nothing.
Peace and power to the true and living. What's good, fam? It's CBornNacirfaSun, and I am you. Yo, I got another profound, deep reflection that I want to share. And this one right here, it may be one of my deepest yet, but I kind of always feel like that. So we shall see. But anyways, I titled this one Nuclear Weapons and the Fatima Prophecy. Nuclear weapons and the Fatima Prophecy. You know what I mean? So we're going to go ahead and start with nuclear weapons. And, we'll tie it all in later on at the end. But let's first talk about nuclear weapons. And this is something that I always wondered about. Is why do we have nuclear weapons? You know what I'm saying? Why do we have nuclear weapons? And furthermore, why have we, the people, the citizens, why have we allowed our governments to build nuclear weapons? I mean, a lot of the governments around the world these days have nuclear weapons. Not all of them, but a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Enough of them have powers of nuclear weapons to literally destroy the entire humanity in one afternoon. You know what I'm saying? So the question is why? Why do we have them? And furthermore, why have we, the people, allowed our governments to build and stockpile nuclear weapons? Oh, it's for safety. Yeah, that's what it is. It's to keep us safe, right? Or at least that's what they tell us, or at least that's what we believe, because now we have all these enemies, from the outside that may try to come in here, come into our country and do us harm, to kill us, to take what's ours, to destroy what we have built. So now we have to, build these weapons to protect ourselves from these enemies that may come from out to do us harm. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much the gist of it. But this is all a part of the Luciferian plot. And this Luciferian deception, it goes so freaking deep that it's like the matrix is multi-layered. You know what I'm saying? So when you break free, when you break out of one level of the matrix, you know what I'm saying, you feel good for a while, you know what I mean, because you think you're free. But then later on, not too long, you realize, oh shit, I'm not free. I'm still in the damn matrix. You know what I mean? This shit is very deep and multi-layered. And then when you break out of that level, you go through the same shit, and then you realize, oh damn, I'm not free yet. So the shit goes very deep. So all these wars and conflicts, so all these wars and conflicts, great conflicts of humanity that, have occurred in the past and is occurring now, it's all, manufactured, have all been manufactured by Lucifer and his disciples. You know what I'm saying? It's all been by design. It's not an accident. It's all been by design. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, the goal is to turn humanity into its own enemy. So then humanity can build weapons of destruction in order to protect itself from itself. So humanity is going to destroy humanity in order to in order to protect humanity from humanity. I mean, I'm laughing. It sounds silly as hell, but that's pretty much the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? So this is the great cycle that we're locked into. This is the great deception that we are locked into. So every nation of the world feels like we have to build these weapons to protect ourselves from, you know, the enemy. Not really and truly knowing who or what the enemy really is. You know what I'm saying? So we can never really, defeat this enemy because we don't really know who this enemy is. Let alone accept who this enemy is. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? So all this, this narrative of, we need to have nuclear weapons, or we have nuclear weapons, because we need them to protect ourselves from, our enemies, is all an illusion. You know what I'm saying? It's all an illusion that's been created by this Luciferian uh, agenda to ultimately bring about the destruction of humanity. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. And the funny thing about that is the irony, right? The irony of safety. We built these weapons to keep us safe from our enemies. But the thing is, how safe how safe can we be with the existence of nuclear weapons? Even if just one nation, if just one country, you know what I'm saying, has nuclear weapons, how safe is the rest of the world? Let alone all these nations, you know what I'm saying, having stockpiles of nuclear weapons. So really, how safe are we? How safe can we really be? How safe can we really feel with the existence of nuclear weapons in the world? You know what I'm saying? That's really the irony of all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? We want to feel safe, so we're going to build weapons of mass global destruction. You know what I'm saying? And hold them in our possession so we can feel safe. Yes, that's how you create. That's how you create safety. I probably should have titled this video, you know what I'm saying, the failure of intellectual reasoning. That would have been another good title for this video. But that's the irony of all this nonsense. You know? So with this completely, I don't even know what to call it, false idea, false sense of security, we have built these damn weapons. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to feel safe, we have built weapons that guarantees that we are not safe. And that's another thing that we need to think about. What do you think is going to happen with all these nuclear weapons? I mean, what? What do you think is going to happen with them? They're just magically going to disappear one day? You know, we're just going to hold them in our possession and never use them and never have to use them? I mean, if you're really paying attention, to the increasing failure of intellectual reasoning, of how we're creating more and more problems that we cannot seem to think our way out of, what do you really think is going to happen with all these nuclear weapons? You know what I'm saying? These are the kind of things that we don't think about when we're operating under fear under the notion that, oh my God, we have to protect, this life by all means, even if it means giving up our security and even giving up our sense of reasoning and common sense, even if it means giving that up. You know what I'm saying? This is all Luciferian. This is not of the Creator. This is not of God. You know what I'm saying? But we're too blind to see that. Now, let's move into the prophecy. We're going to be talking about other prophecies, but mainly the Fatima prophecy. So there are three main ones that I'm going to be talking about in this video, and that's the prophecy of La Salle. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It's a French word. You know what I'm saying? And there's Lourdes. This also happened in France with the young lady Bernadette Soubirous, something like that. And then the Fatima prophecy. And what all these prophecies have in common is that they were all children who had visions of what they think, thought to be the Virgin Mary, but it's not the Virgin Mary. It was a messenger from the light. It was a messenger from the light known as the emissary of mercy. You know what I'm saying? So all these kids received messages from the emissary of mercy. They saw images of her, and she spoke to them, and she gave the message to these children to deliver, you know what I'm saying, to humanity. You know what I mean? So that's what all of these prophecies have in common. Now, the thing about this is these are just three of the known occurrences, of the emissary of mercy. These, but I'm pretty sure that it happened more times than that, and I'm pretty sure it happened more places around the world than just these three places. But the thing about it is, of course, they don't all make it to media sources. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they don't all make it to media sources, so of course we don't know about them. You know what I mean? But these are the three that made it to media sources that we know about. And the thing about it is the message has been lost. You know what I'm saying? The message that was meant to be delivered to humanity within these prophecies have been completely lost, because when these children received these prophecies, they delivered it to the adults that they knew, and then the adults then in turn delivered this message to the church, you know what I'm saying, which of course is the authority. You know what I mean? I made a video not too long ago talking about the power of the church and the government, the power of religion and government in people's lives. I mean, these two organizations literally determine our fate. You know what I'm saying? They hold a lot of power over people's lives. So naturally, when these people received the message from these kids, they went and gave these message to the church authorities. You know what I'm saying? Because they thought that's what they're supposed to do, because they think that these church authorities are in place, you know what I'm saying, for the benefit of humanity. They don't realize that, you know what I'm saying, the church and the church authorities on all levels are, you know what I'm saying, either consciously or unconsciously serving the Luciferian agenda. You know what I'm saying? They don't realize that. You know what I'm saying? So naturally, this is what people depend on. So they took the message and they gave it to the church authority. Now, the thing about it is, another thing to consider, these messages were given to children. You know what I'm saying? Not to adults. And certainly not to adults, you know what I'm saying, within the church. Because if these people, you know what I'm saying, within the church, you know, the church dignitaries and so forth, the popes, the pastors, the bishops, whatever, all of them. If these people, are really, truly meant to lead us, if these people are really connected to the light, if these people are really doing the work of the light, then these messages should be to come directly through them. You know what I'm saying? The emissary of mercy should have been speaking to them, you know what I'm saying, giving this message to them. But why these messages never come through these people? We don't think about that. And the reason why is because they're corrupted. You know what I'm saying? They're not there to serve the light. They're not doing the work of the light. That's for one. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to think about it this way. If you want to plant a seed, you need proper soil. You need arable land. You know what I'm saying? In order to plant a seed, if you want that seed to grow and flourish, you know what I'm saying, and harvest and so forth. If you don't plant your seed on arable soil, it's not going to grow. So in the case of this message, these children, you know what I'm saying, they were the proper soil, you know what I'm saying, to receive this message. You know what I'm saying? They were the proper soil to make this connection to the light. You know what I'm saying? Because before puberty or before the age of 14, you know what I'm saying, human beings have a certain level of purity that allows them to make such connections to the light and be able to have such visions, you know what I'm saying, and be able to receive such messages from the light, you know what I'm saying, because at that age, human beings have that certain level of purity that we no longer possess at an older age. You know what I'm saying? Due to many reasons, mainly because of, the failure of intellectual reasoning. You know what I'm saying? Because of the debasement of the intuitive perception. You know what I'm saying? We have elevated the intellect over the place of the intuitive perception. And the intellect is not built for that. You know what I'm saying? The intellect without the intuitive perception is blind, deaf, and dumb. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on in that case. So that's why the message cannot come through these people, you know what I'm saying, within the church. That's why these messages had to come through these kids. You know what I mean? So in short, if these people whom we depend on to lead us, you know what I'm saying, whom we think are our representatives before God and whatever the case is, if they're really doing the work of the light, then they should possess the purity that allows them to be able to receive these messages direct. You know what I mean? So those are just things that we don't think about, but the truth is always right in front of us. It's just a matter of are we able to see the truth or not? You know what I mean? So what the church did with the prophecy, well, when the church received the message, from these kids, of course, there's a huge chunk of the message was never released to the public. You know what I'm saying? The church took the message, they literally hid the message, and then the parts of the message that they did really release to the public are full of lies and distortions. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, what the church did was they took the damn message and just created another fucking dogma. You know what I'm saying? And just turn it to a dogmatic thing. That's what the church did with it. And then what they did with these kids, they took these kids and they locked them up, you know what I'm saying, in freaking monastery schools and shit, which really is just another way of imprisoning the children so that these kids are not able to talk to the public about the message that they received. You know what I'm saying? So literally the church got a hold of the message and it became lost. You know what I mean? So they turn, the sites where these kids receive the message, they turn these sites into, places of worship, and people go to pray and ask for miracles, and it just became another crazy religion. You know what I mean? So the message is been completely lost. So up to this day, people don't really know what the message that these kids receive. People don't really know what it contains. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and share some parts of the message that has been hidden by the church. And then when you hear this, you're going to understand why the church hides this, and you're going to understand that the church does not serve the light, that the church serves the darkness. You know what I'm saying? But this should not be so little known, man. All right, so this one is from, I believe this first one is from La Salle, if I'm saying it right. Yeah. The message that was received by these two kids. Now, this one goes, the time approaches and the abyss opens up. The people of the church will be punished. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth when the time of punishment arrives. Satan has obscured the intuitive perception of the church dignitaries, and the Lord of darkness rules among them. When the time of punishment comes, the false peace will be destroyed, the false cult exterminated, and the few who emerge from the punishment will again serve only the Almighty God and glorify Him. Bloody wars, hunger, and death will come. Great cities will disappear, mountains will crumble, and fire and water will cleanse earth. The church dignitaries and their followers will have to modify themselves and strive to eradicate the false cult of God. Everyone will have to suffer greatly and see the abyss in which they will have to fall if they do not change. You know what I'm saying? So one of the reasons why the church hides this message is because the message, you know, for one, plainly tells them that everything you're doing in the church is wrong. You know what I'm saying? The traditions, the customs, the belief, the interpretations of the word, all of that is all wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's what these prophecies tell them. So the prophecies tell them that, we have to repent. If what you were doing is right, then you wouldn't have to repent. You wouldn't have to change. You wouldn't have to eradicate the false cult. If what you was doing was right, as it says right here in the prophecy, they have to eradicate the false cult of God. So if what they were doing was right, then they wouldn't have to change any of this. So this is one of the reasons why the church doesn't want to release this, because they'll have to be honest and tell the truth. Meaning that they'll lose all their power, their influence, their followers, the money, the status, all of that. So of course they're not gonna let that go. You know what I mean? All right, now this one comes from the Fatima Prophecy. You know what I mean? This is the one that will make the connection to nuclear weapons. It says, a third war will break out. It will be so terrible that it will leave few survivors. Horrific catastrophes shall strike humanity. The church organizations will have to change radically and build on the new foundation of truth. If this does not happen, then death will reign within the church, and its followers will curse the clergy. It will be the end of the papacy. The last pope will moan in physical pain while their souls wander aimlessly as if haunted. They will not find a way out. Their throne will fall. You know what I'm saying? So that's just part of the prophecy. And these are parts of the prophecy that were not released to the public. This is what the church is holding on to. You know what I'm saying? So plain as day, once again, it tells you that what the church is doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they need to change. You know what I mean? Now, going back to the very first line here, a third war will break out. You know what I'm saying? This is talking about the Third World War. We already had two, you know what I'm saying? This is talking about the third one. And the way I see it, the third one has already started. It just hasn't reached the stage of nuclear weapons being dropped. You know what I'm saying? But this is what this is talking about. So once again, back to these, my initial question. What do you think? First of all, why do we have these nuclear weapons? And what do you think is going to happen with them? Especially at the rate at which the intellectual reasoning is failing. You know what I'm saying? Human intellectual reasoning is failing us. You know what I'm saying? We're finding it increasingly difficult to climb out of, these problems, these holes that we have dug for ourselves. So what do you think is going to happen with these nuclear weapons? You know what I'm saying? As it says right here in the Fatima Prophecy that is being hidden by the church, a third war will break out. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. Nuclear weapons and the Fatima Prophecy. So in my last video, I talked about, being grateful for the year 2020 because of all that was revealed to us through the various events. You know what I'm saying? And it continues. It is a time of awakening. It is a time of discomfort. You know what I'm saying? It is a time of chaos. But the sooner that we are able to wake up and accept the truth and strive by all means to adjust ourselves to the truth, you know what I'm saying, then the better of a chance that we stand. You know what I'm saying? Rather than being in denial and having our perceptions limited by, you know what I'm saying, by this media, this false media system, this false education system, just everything about this life we're living is false. You know what I'm saying? And we're so, but we have accepted it so wholeheartedly that it makes it difficult to accept the truth. You know what I'm saying? But these things, the truth is literally in our face. It's just a matter of, can we see it? You know what I mean? And furthermore, can we accept the truth? You know what I mean? So I got to go ahead and stop this video because once again, it's going a little longer than I wanted it to. But I mean, this one is on some deep shit, man. You know what I mean? We have a lot of soul searching, you know what I'm saying, soul digging to do, you know what I'm saying? We have a lot of, awakening to do. The revolution begins within, you know what I mean? So with that being said, peace and power to the true and living. This is CBornNacirfaSun, and I am you.
If it ain't love, it ain't nothing.